So we had built this deck as kind of a meme slash to say we did it or tried it. I ended up being really impressed by it. So if you didn't see us play this before, this is the Abzan Venture into the Dungeon deck. And we've got Triumphant Adventurer, Silverymoon Ranger, Selfless Paladin, and Tumblestrums here that all provide a constant flow of venturing. We've got some Lotus Cobras and some Emergent Sequences to fix our 3 colors of mana, as well as get us to Tumblestrum on turn 3. I've got some Barrowin Clan Undurr up here, which ventures a single time, and then once we've completed a dungeon, generates card advantage, returning all of our things to play. So let's go ahead and dive on into some games with this. I think the proactiveness of the adventure plan, along with the quality interaction that Vanishing Verse provides, really gives this deck kind of an okay spot in the format. So let's dive on in here. Oh, let me turn the audio back on, huh? Dupers and Nas, thanks for the follows. Welcome to the channel today. I would love to have a turn 3 Ellywick on the play. Thank you for asking. Want to move my HUD? No, I don't. It's staying right where it is. No blocks.
Something new.
I think we're playing defense in this matchup, so I'm going to go ahead and head into the Pandelver. Do I want Varis? Yeah, I think so. This makes a Goblin blocker for us next turn. And next turn with the Lotus Cobra, I can land Vanishing Verse plus this, which is great. Yeah, giving your opponent a card draw with Baleful Mastery is just a tough squeeze. As a pretty real cost. And we're just gonna let Ellie take the hit here. She's a big gal. Play this for black mana, make green, then we can do this and hold up Vanishing Verse. Make a goblin here, like I said. Oh, I could have played this and completed the dungeon if I would have made a treasure token. Maybe that's better? I don't know, I kind of like holding up Verse here. I'd rather die than give someone a free card. Ooh. Hey, maybe that was right, because this would have triggered and given us all of our things +1/+1 too. Huh? A lot of permutations and sequence you could do with this. Would have given us a wolf as well. We would have finished the dungeon. This sequencing with the Verse lets us blow out a fight spell, though, which is nice. It says Ward 1, so we're trying to figure out if they want to target that one or not. This is a concession Verse. Feels like a concession Verse. gonna use that mana, right?
There are so many things to see.
We're on the offensive now. Yeah, opponent's mono green build's a little bit different than the more aggressive ones that we've seen running around. It's impressive how quickly this deck completes dungeons.
Come on, hurry
Like
up,
we're through the second dungeon already. Speedrunning D&D, something like that. Do you get anything for finishing all three? You do not. I think Abzan is the best venture deck in the format. I do not know the answer to that question. We played Esper on stream last week, and it felt very reasonable as well. Check that up on the YouTube video. Oh, Ellywick's ult technically pays you off for it, sure. Oh, this doesn't actually do anything, right? Because of this. Another year of adventures and innkeepers. These ones are way better, are way sweeter though. Designs on these innkeepers are much fantastic. Green source, got a mulligan here. Honestly, even if we had a green source, this many emergent sequences are not great. CGB. It's exciting. Love to draw a 2-drop here. I gotta play this on black and exile this. Them playing a 2-drop basically gave us a 2-drop. Got it. Sweet. I think I want to go for card advantage here. They might have Vanishing Verse themselves.
I just love a good quest.
Yep. Like I said, I think this is definitely one of the reasons to be in black-white in this format. It's unfortunate that it's exiled. It means our Barrowin here won't get to won't get to bring it back. I got a chump block here so we can get another venture out of this.
I'll make a friend of you yet.
Try and draw a 3-drop here so we can go 3-drop plus Vanishing Verse. Yeah, nice.
I've got friends everywhere.
We probably just get rid of the aspirant. There's a good chance we just die to these in the air, though. Yep. This has reach, I suppose.
Go ahead. Oh, I hope you discover something new.
Going on, kid. Hey, gonna concede to a removal spell here for sure. If we get to trade with one of these angels, we might be okay. And that counts, right? Because now this gets to kill this. Might have had a chance if we were on the play that game. The tempo of being on the, it's fine. We'll get him in the post-board game, champ. And that's one of the biggest feel bads about best of one, right? Is the only one chance to break serve. One of the things best of 3 Magic does well is it gives you 2 chances to not just get run over on the draw. Yeah, definitely, Swift. We could play a party deck as soon as tomorrow. The queue is wide open. I should probably play a white land on one in the future because of this. I think I'd rather Ellywick on 2 anyways, though. Or Ellywick on 3. What's going on, CGB? This deck, to set a low bar, this deck has been less embarrassing than I expected it to be.
Come on, hurry up, let's go.
I refuse to say good because I don't lie, but I will say less embarrassing than previously expected. There aren't any haste monsters in this format, right? Is that a free 2-pointer? What is their foretell card? This is legendary, so we don't want to play out another one, so the treasure doesn't do anything.
Who's ready for adventure?
Let's go bring it in there. So we'll get 2 adventure triggers next turn. For a biddy, please. Thanks for the biddies, Be Swift. You have any particular color combination for party, or can I just do whatever I want? Maybe we'll try multiple party decks. Can party in more way than one. This was a Bant one. There might also be a black-red one, too. Maybe we'll do both. 5 colors sounds like some nonsense. I won't rule it out strictly, but it sounds like some nonsense. Well, I definitely was just clicking around randomly and it popped my deck up. And then this forest came out. So I'm glad we picked the right color there by happenstance. Oh, that's a nice draw. We get to go Cobra into Swamp Sequence. Sedge. So they're obviously a control deck. Against a control deck, you want to go into the Tomb of Annihilation to apply pressure. Poor Varis, never was very good at school.
You really want to fight me? This is my favorite part. Watch the life essence fade.
Watch the life essence fade. It's kind of dark. Kind of dark, Onyx.
Great. So much for a new start.
And this is, again, they had awkward part about being kind of a mid-rangey deck in best of one is we're drawing all, at least I could discard the Vanishing Verse instead of losing 2 life, I suppose, but still not a good scene. Going to 3 might be wrong here. Might be right to sacrifice this, because they have Hive of the Eye Tyrant with Menace. Can you verse the land? Yeah, it's monocolored. Yeah, the problem with trying to fire up the Hydra land is, one, I don't really want to trade for that one there. I want to try and pressure them out of this game. I'm going to leave this back so I don't die to a removal spell. Well, I guess it would have needed to be 2 removal spells. And now, even if they have a sweeper, the Lair of the Hydra can potentially finish things off here. Sweet. Yeah, really close game for sure. Both sides having their utility lands really come into play there. Oh, that's exciting. Apparently the SCG Tour is starting their weekend tournaments back up again this weekend. I wonder what format they're going to be. If they have standard 22 tournaments, I might have to make a point to play in some of those. Digital. SCG Tour online. I should say online. Asterisk. See, chat, this is some horse shit. We're playing against CGB for the second time, but we're on the draw for the second time. It just ain't right, chat. It just ain't right. The shuffler is as rigged as the earth is flat. You have to trade here. Let this sit there and grow. Yeah, we're just dead. Being on the play is busted. Our draw was pretty mediocre too, but Luminarch especially on the play. Nah, in the post-board game, I wouldn't have that 2-mana instant or sorcery left in my deck still. We'd have more removal spells. Lost the last game on the draw again. Feels best of one, man. I really hope SCG is gonna do some standard 22 tournaments. Playing this format in best of 3 is so great. Playing Magic in best of 3 is great, and this format is great, so they're just two great flavors that taste great together. No blocks. I have been advised to skip the first Uncharted, which is why we're starting with the second one. Do you also agree that that is a smart thing to be doing? So, I think we're Paladining here. I could Ellywick as like, hey, look, a distraction. And then like, next turn, if I Ellywick this turn, next turn I could Nadaar into Cloister Gargoyle with the treasure token. And complete the dungeon. I think I like that.
Even if we fuck up, there are so many things to see.
Tomb Raider is on my list of things to watch for as well. It's okay to enjoy multiple games, this. Hey, look, chat, my distraction worked.
All right, on to the next thing.
Oh, I'm actually going to be one short of finishing the dungeon this turn, aren't I? Which probably means I'm dead. Is this is an 0-4 this turn. I guess I can -4 attack this Storko. This is another game where, like, had we been on the play, we would have been in a very reasonable spot, but we just didn't have a chance. They had a good draw and they were on the play. Maybe we're supposed to destroy the chariot? Yeah, I can see that. They have this going now, too. Honestly, I kind of want to destroy the ranger class. That's going to bury us in the long term.
Now it's him. I just love a good quest.
Okay, that's a decent pickup. What if we just break the ranger class and pass? Alright. How's this been? It's much better when it's not on the drop. Or when our opponent doesn't have a great curve when they're on the play. Which, from a fundamental perspective, the fact that our deck lacks 1-mana spells in it makes it really hard to break serve in these creature matchups. And I would expect that in post-board games, we would likely want to be boarding in more interactive spells to drag our curve down to give ourselves a better chance to break serve. So, I mean, if you want to enjoy that, if you want to play the deck and enjoy it, I don't think that's a problem you can really solve. Nah, Fred, I'm gonna be playing the game on stream, so if there's something important that I can pick up from one of the previous games, I can just have someone tell me the important thing I'm otherwise missing. Like, 10 hours of gameplay or whatever the first Uncharted would be with mediocre gameplay is like a lot to struggle through if the gameplay's not good. What if we just, like, venture, make a treasure? You think I'm the beatdown here? They're Grixis. Am I the beatdown? They're probably, like, the Grixis treasure stack, right? Venture is what we refer to in game design as a parasitic mechanic. It is a mechanic that only plays well with itself, which means when you're playing with it, a lot of it is dictated to you how your deck needs to look and be built. Long live DRD. Thanks for the follow-up this afternoon. Wow, yeah, they discarded Saw It Coming. So yeah, definitely think we want to wear the beat down here. Someone asked about Forsworn Paladin for a 1-drop card. That's probably not playable because our blacks are splash. If you look at our mana base, we're not consistently casting black spells on turn 1. And then I think once we pop off this quick dungeon finish, I think I'm actually going to dive into the Mad Mage dungeon. I think is my plan here. Because this is legendary. Although I suppose if they have a Shadow's Verdict next turn, I'm gonna wish I went back into the Tomb of Annihilation. Yeah, Shadow's Verdict exiles these things, which makes the revive text on this less good. I agree. I actually think, what's it called? The what's it called card is on my list of things to test in Historic. The Black-White Adventure 2-drop that we're playing in this deck I think is very reasonable. And, it's just a standalone card. Okay, so I was going to say that I wanted to chill with this back, but actually I can just make this not attack, right? So I want to make sure we don't die to a bunch of Alduin's Epiphanies next turn, basically. Next turn. I didn't have a sweeper last turn, so... Yes! Yeah, the fact that if they take turns, the dragon still can't attack until my next turn is great. Well, I guess they can kill my Paladin in response here. Nope. They're not. They're just dead. Sweet. Yeah, I'm really excited for this deck when we get to sideboard with it. Honestly, if SCG is going to host some best of 3 tournaments on occasion, this might be a deck I work on for it. It feels like if we can pull the curve down against aggro so we can break serve easier, the rest of this deck is somewhat reasonable. Approximately what time am I starting Uncharted today? In a half hour to 45 minutes. About one-ish o'clock central. Let me switch over to variety stuff. Alright, do I want my Emergent Sequence token to die, or do I want the Adventurer to die? I think I want the Adventurer to die. I think whatever I play here is getting dragoned or frostbitten or whatever. Hey, I'm glad you've been enjoying it, Nocturnal. I don't know that I'm necessarily going to play Uncharted straight through start to finish. But I have the package that has 1, 2, and 3 in it all at the same time. And we might do 4 at some point if it goes on sale or someone submits it. I don't commit to things without knowing the details in advance. 4 is free on PS5. Is that true? Is it free right now? Is it free with PS Plus or PS Now? Because those are different. Oh, was it in the 20 game bundle? I'll have to look. That means I have it then. That greatly increases the odds we do all of them. I would love a treasure token. So treasure, let's just drop this. Dr. Seuss, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the channel this afternoon. Those of you who are new like Dr. Seuss, we play a bunch of Magic here, but as we're chatting about it as well, I also do some variety stuff, a lot of single-player story-driven stuff, so we're going to be starting Uncharted 2 this afternoon for the first time. Well, that was rude. I think I'm supposed to take this hit. It's been passable, Neil. It's a card that'll probably board out a lot, I imagine, when you can play post-board games, but it's been fine. I think I'm just -4 attacking the Storko here. Might end up being a bit too slow this game. This is another game where it feels like we're a bit too slow, and if we'd been on the play, we would have been night and day different. Thanks for the follow, why? Hey, this opponent's deck is sweet at least. Our mana is gonna get us here. We're finally on the play. Bit by our mana twice in a row. Sedge. It's our first game out of, we've been playing for 45 minutes almost. We've had mana problems though. 3-color mana base is relatively consistent. I like this deck better than the Esper one. This one's more proactive. .3D platformers. I like 3D platformers. I played through all of Mario Odyssey off stream though. That game has excellent co-op, so I played it with the kids. For someone who has children would recommend that game highly. Or if you don't have kids, just a good game. I agree that Mario Odyssey is the best Mario game I've ever played. I'm also not a big fan of the old 2D platforming style games, though. I like the modern design Mario games a lot better than the older ones. Like Yoshi's Crafted World is quite superb as well. I played that somewhat recently with the kids. So, is it crazy to just go into the Dungeon of the Mad Mage? Because I feel like I need a Hail Mary to win this. I'm gonna do it. We're gonna go for Brook. One thing, I feel like Arena got a lot of the interface stuff right with Adventures, but I will say I would greatly prefer it if when you only have one option on the dungeon, it just like put your only option on the stack. The fact that it makes you click the room and then click submit is very silly. Please plus, please plus. Well, I guess if they -2, that's also fine, right? This is actually great for us. Are we gonna win this game? We might win this game.
Even if we come on, hurry up, let's go.
Fool if you think I'll stay.
This draws 2 cards next turn? Honestly, we might finish this next turn, right?
Oh, I hope we discover something new.
Sad. I think that's fine. It's for the follow fitness. Alright, do I have time to go into the Dungeon of the Mad Mage again? I don't think so. I think we're in for the Annihilation this time through. Sit back for old time's sake, something like that. Like, we finish Annihilation next turn. We have 3 ventures. I'm sure they've got some amount of interaction here, but, like, it's got to play to the board and can't be counterspells. Well, that bodes well for the home team. Do we plus and go right? I want to see what they do first. Oh, they're killing that one. Okay, so they're probably sweeping the board next turn, right? Now we'll go left because it drains them more, so I can finish it. Gets Meanie with the white. Yeah, we did. It was awful. It didn't even get up on YouTube. It just did not work. Do I minus Ellie to draw a card? So that way if they sweep, I can threaten to plus to make a 5/5 token next turn? Yeah, if I'm expecting a Shadow's Verdict, it's right to downtick Ellie here, right?
I love making new friends.
Plussing to make an emblem is kind of hot too, though. That's a 5/5, chat. I have another Nadaar here. I think this game board might be my favorite music of any game board they have. I love the violin parts. It's really great. So they're dead? Cave plus Adventurer is lethal? You also get to head right back in for some more Annihilation. The Annihilation was so good the first time, why not have some more? We've had first Annihilations, yes, but what about second Annihilations, chat? Yeah, we mulled to 5 that game. And we just, like, ground them out. Got chats off to the Mad Mage dungeon, huh? We ground them out on the Moldify because we ventured into that bad Mamma Jamma and found some prizes. Pretty sweet. So with a straight face, I'm going to tell you with Divinity Original Sin, turn-based games are not a huge turn-on for me. How does venture into a dungeon work? I'm going to tell you politely to Google it, because it'll be easier for you to look it up. It's a little convoluted, but like once you look at a breakdown, it'll explain it. Thirsty boy. Definitely gonna go Pan Delvin here. I'm supposed to keep the other Barrowin. So The TLDR when you're choosing your dungeons with this deck is it all comes down to role assessment. If you're the bigger deck, you're generally speaking, you're acting like a control role, you're going to want to be doing the Pandelver or Mad Mage. And if you're the beatdown, generally speaking, you're going to want to be using the Tomb of Annihilation. And obviously there's some asterisks to that. It's not always one way or the other, but context is key. The fact that this making a treasure token to help fix our mana has been so key in so many spots. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Danon. Well, you'll be around here regardless. We're gonna finally trigger this card. Enter combat here to start. Oh, yeah, the middle or right one's exactly correct. We're gonna go ahead and put a minus attack on this, so that way we can attack in and they can't block. We did, Quilcy. It was really impressive. Kinda sweet. They don't have a removal spell here. Barrowin's gonna bury them. I think if we get even one trigger out of this, we're gonna be in a great spot. Alright, where are we going? So I'm gonna get 2 more ventures this turn. I could get 3 more ventures this turn. So I'm getting back Ranger. Do we just head into the Tomb of Annihilation and like make a token? I think so, right? I think we're ready to beat down. And then Barrowin is going to get back Varis. And then we get to go Cursed Idol, Venture into Cloister Gargoyle, and complete Annihilation this turn. So this will trade here, and I assume I'm going to trade this for these two. Okay, so we do this, venture, make a treasure. And then Cloistered Gargoyle will trigger Varis to venture, and then it'll come into play venture. And then this makes a wolf whenever we complete a dungeon, which encourages us to run the smaller dungeons as well. The annihilation shall continue until morale improves. It's my view on creature lands. I think creature lands are great and everyone should play more of them. But unless you know something that I don't, I'd appreciate it if you didn't call them man lands in my chat. So they have to discard a card here because they can't pay life. Well, you know. Or they can, you know. It's faster. That's faster than going top right, I suppose. Thanks for the follow, Pino. Good morning. We go first, and our hand is good. That's exciting. Am I supposed to Cobra on 2? Or am I supposed to Triumphant Adventurer on 2? I think we're supposed to Cobra. Close, though. Yeah, Cobra lets me play the Pathway as black and then play the Ranger. Which is nice. Conan start is very good here. Okay, now I can play this on black and then play Varis. Now, the real question is, are we the beatdown or are we the bigger deck here? Yeah, Sentinel into Outlaw is very explosive here. So this gets treasures whenever you tap it for any reason. You're super wide here. They took my second Varis. Strange. So playing this lets me venture twice. Venture twice, and then this, and then this. It's either Pandelver or Mad Mage. Can I survive to get leverage on Mad Mage? Maybe. The Paladin class is going to pump up here. The downside to going into this one is it takes longer for these to proc. Vanishing Verse is pretty good. Maybe I do play this, because it's kind of a wash, right? Because next turn I'll be able to, if I cast this, I don't trigger Varis with it, but I can attack with it next turn, but I don't necessarily want to trade it off, right? And with this plus this, I can Vanishing Verse and this next turn anyways. Yeah, okay, I'm just going to pass. Hey, Charizard, thanks for the raid. Hope you had a good stream today. I'll make a treasure token when we venture to. this deck, man. It's great. We win. This will surprise you about Best of One, I'm sure, but we win a lot more when we're on the play than when we're on the draw. Believe it or not. Paladin class is just about to brutalize us here, I think, though. Okay, that lets us deal with Paladin class, I suppose, and play this, which is nice. So I could drop this. Make, whatever, doesn't really matter. I don't really need the mana, so we'll just, like, gain 3 with this. It might have been wrong to go into this one first because of the gargoyle. So we get to get rid of this. And then suddenly they only have good attacks with these. If we draw a creature or planeswalker next turn, we're in a decent spot. If we don't, we're going to be in a little bit of trouble. Yeah. I'd have. If we drew a creature here, I'd have drawn 2 cards or made 2 1/1s. Watch, like, the next 2 cards be decent. Well, shit. Are we dead to attack all? Let's find out. Not quite. Holy shit, come on! Man! If we'd have hit any card there that let us adventure, we would have gotten to scry 3 and then finish it with this. Man, that's frustrating. We're so close to stabilizing. I'm a frowny face because magic happened. It's like, had more lands in play than them, had scryed lands to the bottom. The shuffler is rigged, please fix. Something like that. I'm gonna keep that. I'm gonna bottom Barrowin. I always frowny face best of 1 because I want best of 3. That's probably the big brain play, actually. These bits, though. Thank you, engineer. Very generous of you. Alright, scale of 1 to dead. Where's the swamp at? Come on, just like 4 telecards so I can play my Planeswalker. Thanks, opponent. I appreciate you.
Who's ready for adventure?
So I think I want to Pan Delver to start because I want to be able to make a treasure next turn when I plus her. Because if I make a treasure, I can go Varis into Triumphant Adventurer.
There are so many things to see.
Innkeeper in place of Emergent Sequence. I could see that actually. We haven't talked about that, but that could be good. I could see that being a reasonable thing to be doing. Wow, they had Soul Shatter and they just like let me use her for the turn? It's weird. I feel like one of these could be a Doomscar, so I'm just gonna go ahead and pass here rather than running a Lotus Cobra out. We got a lot of pressure in play. We triggered this already for the turn. Yeah. My Scryon. Man, that hurts, but I gotta bottom it. We're gonna bottom her, and then we're never gonna draw another spell. I can feel it in my bones. Shit. That's the bottom the card that's correct to bottom. Never draw another spell. Thanks for the 16 months, Silver. I appreciate you keeping me around so I can keep making stuff. So we do this, and this makes us 2 treasure tokens here, technically. Another sweeper hidden away over there. Really? Another portable hold? Sure. I have really enjoyed the play patterns that dungeons create. I think they're sweet. Maybe this is wrong, and I'm supposed to just, like, play some Cobras out here. This demands an answer, though. There's a good chance one of these is a sweeper, though, right? Yeah. Really elite Spellbinder. That's interesting. I wouldn't have put on being a deck with creatures in it. Snake, a snake, oh, it's a snake.
Oh, look, I would run if I were you.
I can do X's 4 here. I think we're probably dead at this point, unfortunately. Yeah. Mordekaiser's just gonna bury us here. Straight with our creature land. So all things considered, I would definitely want to plan for break serving against aggro on the draw if I were to play this in best of 3. Another thought is, I kind of like the idea, someone mentioned Innkeeper over Emergent Sequence. I'm sad with myself I didn't think of that. I kind of like that idea a lot, actually, thinking about it. And I like this idea for 2 reasons. The first is, it lets me cut a bunch of these basic lands, because a lot of the reason I'm playing these basic lands is so I have basics to fetch up with Emergent Sequence. And the second is, Innkeeper is sweet because even if they kill Innkeeper after you play it, it still ramps you to Ellywick. So this guarantees your 4-drop on turn 3, basically, in most situations. Your opponent can't just kill it, which is nice. So I think honestly I'd probably drop the swamp. 1 swamp is probably fine. The other thing I'm definitely not sure on is, I don't know what I want this last slot to be. So, like, this card was fine, but the fact that the premier control deck in this format is blue-black, and Shadow's Verdict exiles everything you want to be bringing back with Barrowin, feels really awkward. So I feel like that slot is still something I don't quite know what I want to do with it. Honestly, we played a couple of Troubadours last time, and that could probably be okay, but it could be right just like play another good card too. Aren't any other good planeswalkers worth playing, right? This is kind of hard to cast in our deck that has black mana. You know, I actually don't hate that suggestion. I'm gonna end with that in what I upload to YouTube. I like that idea a lot. Legion Angel with the 2/2 split, just like a good, like, quality mid-range card. Something like Maul of the Skyclaves. Yeah, I could see that being okay too. I think I like Legion Angel a little bit more because it's just like kind of an individually powerful card. I can see Skyclave Apparition being okay as well. That's definitely a card that's like decent in the green aggro matchup. After Vanishing Verse, it's probably one of the better interactive cards in the format. So I can see that. I think you want to decide, like, do you want to be more proactive or reactive? I think if you want to be reactive, Skyclave Apparition seems fine. If I'm porting this deck to best of 3, there's definitely Skyclaves in my sideboard. I'm definitely registering that card in my 75. I don't know if it's necessarily good main deck. Maul is okay. Like, we don't actually have that many creatures. I don't know. Like, part of the problem with this deck is your cards are synergistic together, and Maul's another card that depends on you having other cards in play for it to be good. So I kind of like the idea of just playing another individually good card like Legion Angel or Skyclave Apparition, as opposed to playing a card that depends on you having a board state already, if that makes sense. I like getting more creature lands here, though. Both of these creature lands were excellent at different points today. So cutting the Emergent Sequence for Innkeeper to fit more creature lands in the mana base sounds like a delight. You wonder if this deck works in Historic with Collecting Company? Nah, not at all. This mechanic is like, I'm not sure that this mechanic is strong enough to be playable in Standard 2022. I'm still like, it's probably good enough, but like, Historic is like a brutal, powerful format. A lot of these standard things are not going to be good enough. I mentioned this during the set, but I do think like this card is probably playable in Historic. In fact, going specifically into the Tomb of Annihilation, I think this card's probably good in Black-White Death Shadow. I didn't do any Historic today because I had 2 Standard 22 decks I wanted to play, but I think I'm going to make a point to try out this inside of Black White Shadow, and I want to try out some of the new creature lands inside of Grawl. So I think this card like could be sweet and historic just as a standalone without any other adventure stuff. So yeah. All right. At any rate, it's going to wrap on Magic for me for today. Thank you for the follows, Sheriff and Rulin. If you're looking for more Magic stuff for myself, everything I stream that's worthwhile ends up on my YouTube channel. So there's more historic decks, standard 2022, modern stuff. If there's someone asked, we did play Kiki Court this morning. It was great. Kiki Court's always great. Chat Modern's a lot of fun right now. For the remainder of the stream, we are going to be diving on into Uncharted 2 for the first time as my next variety segment. I'll be back with more Magic Arena tomorrow morning.